SEC quarterback play week 2. Going to go through and rank every quarterback that played an FBS opponent. So that's 13 quarterbacks. So we're not going to rank Tennessee Joey Aguilar, who else? Gunnar Stockton and Lenore Sellers. So those 3 quarterbacks will be omitted because they played an FCS opponent. So to do these rankings, we're going to use our QB Spotlight model. So it spits out a number for us based off 5 different metrics, which we'll get into in a second. So these are the QB Spotlight rating. So not ours, even though the channel is QB Spotlight. It's just the model that we created. Then we'll have our own top 5 rankings. So not including the model, we'll give our top 5 quarterback performances from the SEC for week 2. So we'll go in reverse order. We'll start at the very end of it. And real quick, the model has 5 different categories. It has accuracy and adjusted completion percentage. So it uses accuracy and efficiency. So we take adjusted completion percentage and yards per attempt to get that number. That's the highest weighted number on the scale. Then we go through adjusted explosive percentage as far as it relates to push the ball downfield. We use 20-yard completions, and we also combine their completion percentage. We have a turnover avoidance, so we combine interception and fumbles. We also have a athleticism score, so that combines how many rushing yards outside of sacks and how many 10-yard rushes that they have. Then we also have a third down / red zone score that we use, and we just use QBR for that. So it's not a perfect model. It doesn't take into consideration who they play, like the level of competition, which is an issue that we're trying to figure out. But at the same time, it does a good enough job, I think, just giving us a score here. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into. Let's go reverse. Let's go from the very end, and we'll go ahead and rank these. Remember, these are not my rankings per se. These are just what the model has put out. So the lowest score this weekend was actually DJ Lagway, 71.9. The biggest reasons he scored so low, because I didn't think he played horribly. I think he missed some passes, but there were just no deep shots. There were 0 completions where the ball was thrown 20 yards or more downfield. So that's why he scored so low. His yards per attempt were 6.7, which put him 3rd lowest yards per attempt in the SEC. But he was the only quarterback in the SEC. Yeah, he was the only quarterback in the SEC to not have at least one 20-yard completion or more downfield, and also didn't do much on the ground, right? QBR was fairly low as well, so that's why he ranked so low. All right, number 2, or the second lowest quarterback, I guess this would be the 12th rated quarterback. So 13th was DJ Lagway. 12th is going to be, where is he at? Zach Calzada, Kentucky quarterback, 77.1, who I think actually probably played the poorest performance of any quarterback in the SEC. Yards per attempt were 5. The only reason he was slightly higher than Lagway was for the simple fact he had some more rushing yards, and the model takes that in consideration, and he had one explosive pass. One pass, the ball was from 20 yards or more downfield. But his QBR was the lowest out of any quarterback in the SEC, but he didn't turn the ball over. He had one explosive completion, which is why he ranked a little higher than DJ Lagway. Okay, that was 77.1. So the 11th ranked quarterback is Austin Simmons, 78.1. He actually played a lot better than the score gave him. He had 2 interceptions. He had a fumble, but his completion percentage was fairly low. I think it was the lowest. Yeah, his adjusted completion percentage was the lowest out of any SEC quarterback this week. But he bounced back after those picks. He actually played fairly well. He actually had a pretty good QBR score, but still ranked 11th because of those turnovers, because of the interceptions, the fumbles that he had, which I think they recovered, but still it counts against him, and he was able to at least bounce back. So he played better than this number gave him. All right, the last quarterback in the 70s is one of my favorite quarterbacks because we got LSU blood in us. Garrett Nussmeier, 78.9. So he was a 10th rated quarterback according to the model. His yards per attempt were 5.8. That brought everything down. He was accurate throwing the ball, 78.9. Adjusted completion percentage, which is one of the higher ones in the SEC. But yards per attempt were low. Had an interception, QBR was low, -1 yards rushing, not much on the ground, right? So that's kind of what hurt his score here. Okay, let's go to that was 13, 11, 12, 10. Let's go to the 9th ranked quarterback here. 9th ranked quarterback, that's going to be Mississippi State quarterback Blake Shapen, who actually I thought played pretty well. His score was 81.7. Made some big throws at the end of the game, had some big 20-yard completions, but besides those big plays, the yards per attempt weren't very high. Besides those 3 completions where they blitzed him, and besides his 2 big completions where the ball was thrown 20 yards or more downfield, his yards per attempt were like 5 something. So, but played well. This is where he was probably my 4th or 5th rated quarterback, which we'll get into in a second. this week. But I digress. Let's go ahead and move on to the 8th ranked quarterback this week. Let's see, that was Blake Shapen. Now we're going to the 8th ranked quarterback. We're going to Marcel Reed, Texas A&M, 84.2. Had a pretty good game. He did miss on some throws. His adjusted completion percentage was 75, which is fairly good. Yards per attempt, 7.9. That's a good number. It's just some of these other teams, some of these other quarterbacks played really well. Some of these other quarterbacks played even worse competition than Utah State and was able to have a good number. So after Marcel Reed, we're going to, 88.9. Jackson Arnold, who I actually thought probably had his best passing game as a quarterback, 88.9. That's a good game against Ball State, right? So it doesn't matter all that much, kind of like Marcel Reed. But had his best game as a passer, 88.9 adjusted completion percentage, had some yards on the ground as well. So we got 5 quarterbacks that scored 90 or more. So the 5th ranked quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be, if I'm doing the math right, 5th ranked quarterback. I'm sorry, we got one more quarterback before we get to the 90s. So the 6th ranked quarterback, according to this model, who actually had one of the best games of any quarterback in college football, 89.1. That's an extremely high rating. Again, all these quarterbacks are ranked in the 90s because the competition they played, it wasn't great. But Beau Pribula played a good Kansas team, scored 89.1, largely because of his passing ability. You would have thought his running ability would have helped him a lot in this grade, but it was his passing ability. He had over 300 yards passing. They beat Kansas. All right, the 5th ranked quarterback. Let's go to the 5th ranked quarterback. It's going to be Ty Simpson for UL Monroe, 17-17. Didn't have an incompletion. That's what really helped him. He bounced back, had a good game against a very poor defense, but still bounced back. Didn't have an incompletion. Did exactly what you wanted him to do. Okay, so now we got, 1, 2, 3. We got 3 quarterbacks left, I believe. Yeah, so Simpson was number 4. So we got 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, Simpson's number 5. We got 4 more quarterbacks left. I should probably get this in a little better order here, but oh well. Okay, so let's go to the next quarterback. We got 2 tied for number 4, right? We got 2. I'm sorry, we got one number 4, and that is 92.2. That's John Mateer, who had the best game out of any quarterback this weekend. But according to the model, he was the 4th ranked quarterback, 92.2. We'll talk a little bit more about him here in a second. The next 2 quarterbacks who are tied, 92.3 and 92.3. Excuse me, I missed one. Diego Pavia was 92.1, and then we had John Mateer at 92.2. So those 2 quarterbacks, 2 of the best performances, 92.1, 92.2. The top 2 quarterbacks, according to the QB Spotlight model this week, was none other than Arch Manning at Texas and Taylon Green at Arkansas. Manning had a lot of explosive plays. He led every quarterback in the SEC with 20-yard or more completions this week. That's why he scored so highly. Then Taylon Green had 151 yards on the ground, had 5 rushing attempts of 10-plus yards or more. That's why he was able to overcome 2 turnovers. That's why he was able to overcome some missed passes and still score so highly because of his rushing ability. So Arch Manning, Taylon Green scored the highest this week, followed by John Mateer, and then followed by Diego Pavia. So those are our highest ranked quarterbacks. Again, DJ Lagway starting at the very bottom, and then Green and Manning coming together at the very top. Again, the model does not take into consideration who they played, so that's why it's slightly off, but it gives us an idea of how they played regardless of who they played. So let's go through my top 5 quarterbacks from week 2, not including the model, right? The model does help, but you obviously got to watch the game and take more into consideration than what these numbers spit at you. So let's go number 1. Let's start with John Mateer. John Mateer had the best game for any quarterback, in my opinion, of the SEC, and probably not in all of college football this weekend playing Michigan. We put out a video of John Mateer yesterday, going through his ability to make accurate passes on the run, his ability to push the ball downfield, and his ability to move, utilize his legs and his running ability. He had 3 completions of the ball, throwing 20 yards or more downfield. He had 75 yards on the ground, 3 rushing attempts of 10-plus yards, so very explosive, kept drives alive, had a great opening drive that got them out in front early. So John Mateer, our number 1 ranked quarterback, not from the model, just us watching the game. Number 2, I'm going Diego Pavia. I was thinking about Beau Pribula, but I'm going Diego Pavia. They go in, they beat Virginia Tech. They were down for a little while, and they come back, have a huge second half. Pavia had 3 completions where the ball was thrown 20 yards or more downfield, 61 yards on the ground, several big plays through the air and utilizing his legs. I think he was second in the SEC in yards per attempt this week. Only Ty Simpson had a higher yards per attempt number, but Pavia had his yards per attempt of 10.7, pushing the ball downfield. So Diego Pavia, our number 2 ranked quarterback for the week 2 of SEC. Number 3, Beau Pribula. I think he proved a lot of people wrong, me included. I thought he was going to utilize his legs a bunch more. He only had 19 yards on the ground against Kansas. If you told me that, I would have been like, yeah, Kansas would probably win that game. That didn't happen. Beau Pribula, 300 and how many yards passing did Beau have here? Let's see, where is it? 334 yards passing from Beau Pribula through the air. 83.8 adjusted completion percentage, so it was extremely accurate. He hit the throws he was supposed to hit. That would put a hell of a game, right? All right, our 4th ranked quarterback going to be Blake Shapen for the simple fact that they upset Arizona State at home. Now, he didn't play fantastic, but he played a damn good game, and he made the plays and the throws he needed to make when it came up, especially that 3rd and 9 with 41 seconds or however many seconds left at the end of the game in the 4th quarter. Had that big play there. So that's our 4th ranked quarterback. And number 5, I mean, you could have put anyone here. You could have put Jackson Arnold, Taylon Green, Ty Simpson, Arch Manning, whatever. You could have put any of those quarterbacks for the 5th ranked quarterback. So whoever you want to use, plug and chug them in. I'm going to use Jackson Arnold because it was his best passing game as a starting quarterback. Okay, those are our rankings. We have the QB Spotlight model that spits out these numbers. It does not take into consideration competition. We're still working on perfecting the model, but it spits out these numbers. So we go through the QB Spotlight rating, and then we have our own top 5 quarterback play, regardless of what the QB Spotlight rating tells us. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're an SEC fan, who was your number 1 ranked quarterback? Who was your last ranked quarterback? Give me all your SEC QB thoughts below. And we're just a big SEC quarterback hub. If you like SEC quarterbacks, please consider subscribing. We'll do these recaps every Monday morning after the weekend, and we'll have a preview coming out tomorrow previewing every SEC quarterback's competition, who they're playing, the keys for them to have success, and we'll preview the defense and what the defense could do as well. And also, we're partnering with a really cool company where in the next week or 2, it'll be finalized. We'll be able to kind of spit out a PDF breakdown recapping every quarterback in pretty good detail that we'll be able to email that to subscribers that want it. We'll also have QB previews. So say this weekend, if you're an Arkansas fan, you'll be able to see, okay, what are the keys for Taylon Green, and what's the defense going to potentially throw at me for Ole Miss? And we'll have this broken down, kind of like how we had it whenever we played in college. Just like a report that'll be sent to anyone who's interested. So that's going to be pretty cool, at least if you're a quarterback geek or a football geek, you'll enjoy that. So let me know if you're interested in that. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We'll see you next time. Peace.